Tightlock Cattle Tight, the world's best cattle fence. Here's a fencing system from wiremakers designed to put you ahead on cattle containment. The name is Tightlock Cattle Tight. With double the post spacing, you'll save on posts. You'll save on installation. And with the famous Tightlock knot combined with stiff one-piece vertical stay wires that act like battens, you won't need any battens. Cattle Tight is double galvanized for extra long life, and Cattle Tight stays tight year after year, saving on maintenance. There's no barbed wire, no hide damage. You'll save on stock injury. Before we quickly show you how to construct a Cattle Tight fence, here's a rundown on specifications. You've got two options. Both are 48 inches high, that's 1.2 meters. The A9 gives you 9 high-tensile horizontal line wires of 12.5 gauge, that's 2.5 millimeters, with vertical stay wires evenly spaced at 9.5 inches, that's 240 millimeters. The A12 option gives you 12 line wires of graduated spacings, providing extra strength where it's needed at the base for predator control, ideal for boundary fencing or areas of high stock pressure. Now that you know about Tightlock Cattle Tight, watch how easily you can construct it. First, the horizontal end assembly. Prepare the line. Remove any obstacles, brush, etc. Measure up the strainer and front post to the required fence height. Drive in the end strainer, checking the height as you go. Tie the sighting wire to the end strainer post and tension it. Tie it off if you want to leave it on the fence. Now position the front post next to the sight wire using the compression post to measure the distance from the end strainer post. Mark off and cut the rebates for the compression bar. 2 chainsaw blade thicknesses is a guide measurement. Locate a staple under the rebate of the end strainer to sit the compression bar on when fitting it. Once the bar is fitted, remove the staple. Now for the diagonal wire brace. Wrap the wire around the end strainer and the front post. Gather the wires together, position to the required height, and hold in place with a staple. Do not drive the staple right in, as the wires need to slide. Tension the diagonal brace by fitting a Hayes H302 inline permanent wire strainer. Before we run through the installation of the Cattle Tight netting, we'll show you an optional method, the diagonal end assembly. Drive one strainer post right at the end of the fence line and shape the diagonal stay. Check out a rebate into the post. Install the stay at the post and then secure it to the stay block. The earth can now be replaced and rammed firmly. The diagonal end assembly is now ready for the Cattle Tight netting. After rolling out the netting beside the line of posts, remove enough vertical stay wires to allow the horizontal line wires to be tied off around the end strainer post. Depending on the length of your fence, you may require to join the roll ends. The horizontal line wires can be spliced together using this handy little splicing key. Alternatively, each line wire can be crimped together on the ground, using these unique zinc-on copper swage crimps. The Hayes Easy Pull fencing pliers make this process quick and easy. With either of these methods, you can extend your fence from 2 to 5 rolls of netting. The netting is now ready to be strained up. With 2 Hayes strainer clamps, you can strain at a convenient point between the 2 ends of the fence, splicing or crimping the netting ends together before releasing the clamps. Alternatively, for shorter length fences, you may choose to strain up at one of the end assemblies using 1 Hayes strainer clamp, tying off the netting to the end strainer post when the correct tension is reached. You can bring cattle-tight fence to the required tension visually. The built-in tightlock tension curves are reduced by about half when the correct tension is reached. Your cattle-tight fence is now ready for the final stapling off. Each horizontal line wire is stapled to every post. Our recommended post spacings are 30 feet apart, that's 10 meters, or 60 feet apart, 20 meters when using a steel staple lock or T-post. For extra predator control, an option is to install an electric hot wire 3 to 6 inches from the ground. This is easily achieved using these Hayes outriggers. The hot wire may be tensioned with an insulated Hayes inline permanent wire strainer. Your cattle-tight fence is now ready for the cattle, although don't forget to hang your gate. Now let's recap the sequence. Prepare the fence line if necessary. Drive your strainer posts. Install your sight wire. Build your end assemblies. Drive your line of posts. Roll out the netting. Strain the fence up to tension. Splice or tie off. Staple all horizontal line wires to each post using Wiremaker's barbed staples. Decide on your optional electric hot wire. And don't forget the gate. Year after year, tightlock fencing will withstand the day-by-day wear and tear of wind, weather, and stock impacts. Now let's put that strength and durability to a not-so-everyday test. Here it goes. Tightlock deer and livestock fence can take a punishing downward impact. As the fence is collapsed, the staples are sheared from the posts. The fence can be literally lifted back up into position, restapled at the line wires, and retensioned if required. Any bent stay wires can easily be straightened, and even with this huge impact, there's been no knot movement. You've seen the vertical durability of tightlock deer fencing. Let's test it for horizontal resilience. Accidental impact from farm machinery or heavy stock impacts. Let's take a closer look. No problem to a tightlock fence. Posts snapped off at the ground are easily replaced. The fence can be quickly restapled in place and retensioned if required at any convenient point in the line. You can see for yourself in this close-up that the fence has not sustained any line or stay wire damage. Nothing wrong here that a little restraining won't fix.